In this video, I wanted to demonstrate a lesson about eating the rainbow. Eating the rainbow is a really fun activity for young children, and you get to teach them about nutrition, a variety of different fruits and vegetables, and different colors, sorting by colors, and then mixing by colors when you do make a smoothie. So it's great because, and the other thing too is different body parts that the different colors help. So let's go through the different colors of the rainbow. So for a child, you can ask them, so what color do we have here? And they'll say red, and you can say, what fruits do you see? And here we have strawberries and raspberries and apples. And so they get to see what is red, and then maybe they can taste a few raspberries. And red is really good for your heart. You can show them where their heart is. And so that's good for heart health. And then you can move on to a different color. Orange. Orange has beta carotene, and then you can ask, what do you see that's orange? And they'll tell you carrots and oranges. And I mean, there's a lot of other choices that you can choose. I'm just choosing things that perhaps most of these items can be put into a smoothie. And so, yes, and you can say in oranges, they have beta carotene, so it's good for your eyes. And then you have yellow, and yellow here, we have bananas, yellow pepper, and then yellow also has some beta carotene, and then that's also, like we said before, it's good for the eyes, and then also it's good for the lungs, and so it helps with breathing and good respiratory health. So that would you can use yellow for use these for yellow. And then you have greens. Greens is great. I know that sometimes children, they may be reluctant to try some green things, but you can ask them, what do we have in here? And then they'll tell you there's some celery, and they may not know about kale. You can say this is kale, and then we also have cucumbers. And green is great. Green helps so many organs in our body. It helps our eyes, it helps our skin. It's a great detoxifier. So it helps with so many different, has so many benefits, so many health benefits. And so that's really yummy and good for them. And then you have your blues and purples, which are great sources of antioxidant, which helps them to fight off infections when they're feeling sick. And so you can tell them about that property. And then so here for blues, I love blueberries. They're so yummy. And for the purples, we have grapes and an eggplant. You don't want to put an eggplant in a smoothie, but I like showing kids what eggplants are, because sometimes they may not have tried that, and I like to introduce new items that they may not have tried. And I learned that with blueberries is also good for your memory, and so it's good for your brain health. So I need a lot of that. So if you're going to make a smoothie with children, what I recommend is to have a recipe in mind, and then that way you can know what will blend, because obviously we're not going to put the bell peppers or the eggplant. That might be kind of weird. But then you can then ask them what colors they might want to put in the blender. Now for the recipe in mind, I know that I want to put some kale, some celery, and I already put the apple juice in there. So the way that I do this, so I can control what goes in, is I can say, all right, I'm looking for something green. Or if I wanted them to know and identify the different vegetables, might say, I'm looking for kale. Who can tell me where the kale is? And they'll say, oh, it's in the green pile. So I say, yes. So let's put some green into the smoothie. And so for the kale, you just make sure that the stems are off, and then just put the leaves in. So I'm just going to peel a little bit more here, and then put the kale in. And then I'll ask, well, I also need some celery. So where's the celery? And they'll say, oh, it's over here. It's also green. And so for this one, I need a couple stalks of celery. So I'm going to put that in there. And then I'll put that in, and then I would ask for apples, but I already put that in. Oh yes, I also need something yellow. And then the only thing left is a banana. So I do that so then they can only choose the thing that will taste good in the smoothie that I have in mind. And so banana, yes, very good. So we are going to put a banana into this smoothie, and I'll just talk about, all right, so let's put half a banana into the smoothie, and then before I blend it, I'll ask them, what color do you think that the smoothie will be after I blend all these colors? And it's kind of fun to see what they'll say. Some of them will say green, some of them will say red, or some, whatever comes into their little minds. It's fun to see what little children say when you are about to make something. So, and then you can pick a child to come and help you to blend the smoothie. So let's see what happens when we blend it. In this case, it does turn mostly green because the kale is, there's a lot of kale in here. And then some of them are like, ew, green, I don't want to drink it. But then everybody will have a little cup, and then you will be able to pour and let them try it. And so since I already made it, and then you can just give them all, and you can ask them also, what do you think it's going to taste like? What fruit or vegetable do you think it's mainly going to taste like? Is it going to be sweet, or what do you think? And then they'll tell your answer, and then it's like, well, let's taste and find out. I can taste the banana. It's sweet. It's so delicious. So this is a great way to teach children colors, different fruits and vegetables, color mixing, and that green doesn't always taste so bad.